So it's a clinical SAS programming we are starting, right? So to understand the clinical SAS, so first of all, you should know the drug development process, drug approval process. Okay, so I will show you some PPTs. SAS programming in the pharmaceutical industry. So to work in the pharma industry, you should have the SAS knowledge and the statistical knowledge. Okay. So these are like SAS. Okay. This there are 2 steps. Okay. This all Yeah. So mainly in the clinical, you should know these things. Pharmaceutical industry vocabulary you should understand. So if you are from pharmacy background or in life sciences background, then you can understand this one. Later, statistical programmer work description you should know. So what is the exact role of the SAS programmer in the industry? Like tables, listings, figures creation, and ADAM dataset creation, CDISC implementation, then programming and contribution in the ECTD preparation, ISS, ASA preparation. So this is all the role of the SAS programmer. Anyway, I'll explain again. Then the drug development process and drug approval process, we should understand the approval and development process. Then you should also know the industry regulations and standards like ICH guidelines, FDA guidelines. Then you should also know about your clinical trial colleagues. Okay, so these are the basic things and environment you should know. Then this is the description. In brief, see, we will be provided some data. Then import the data, then transform them into like your required data sets. Okay, using different transformations. Okay, convert them and make them into the analysis data sets. See, for example, the data given to us is not ready for analysis. So you get the data, convert them into the analysis data set, and then using those data sets, okay, create the tables, listings, and the figures. Then using these tables, listings, and figures, finally we will be generating one report. That report will be sent to the FDA. So this is the description in brief. Simple. Getting the data, convert, which is the non-analysis data, then convert into analysis data, and then create tables, lists, and figures using the data sets. Finally, send the report to the FDA. So this is the main role of the SAS program. Then coming to the drug development process. This is very important one. What we do first, a new molecular entity will be created in the research and development laboratory, and then they will do the preclinical studies. Okay, and this in vitro, in vivo, right? They will do all the in vitro, in vivo analysis. Then if it is found perfect, then they will manufacture it. Then after manufacturing the drug, then they will apply for the IND, investigation new drug. They will apply to the FDA for permission to conduct the clinical trial. Then after that, they will conduct the clinical trial on the healthy human beings. It's called the first phase. You can see here two healthy human beings. Like it's not bed. Means they will conduct the first phase only on the healthy human beings, and later only in tens, like 5-10 people like that. Then later they will do on the patients. That is second phase. In the second phase, they will conduct on only some little patients. Little means like 10, 200, 300 like that, not more than hundreds. Then again they will conduct the third phase in large quantity, like 3,000, 2,000 people. There are 2 patients. Means first phase healthy human beings, second and third phase are the patients. Then they will collect the data from first phase, second phase, and third phase, and integrate the data. Okay, they will generate the reports. So after generating the reports will be sent to the FDA. Okay, then what is that called? NDA. NDA means new drug application. So after sending the reports to the FDA, then they will ask for the new drug application. Means they want to market the drug. Then after getting the permission from the FDA, then the drug is approved for marketing. So this is the drug development process. So you should know the drug development process actually. Yeah, Raghu. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a small question. What is the purpose of doing, testing on the healthy patients? What do you want to know?
Safety.
Because
Safety.
the drug is designed for some
Yes.
specific treatment, right?
Yes. But it's safety evaluation.
Yeah, you mean like adverse reactions to see on the healthy patients?
Yeah. Yes. Because okay, let me explain you. See, for example, we developed a medicine, right? Okay, let us assume that. Uh, I mean, if you give that medicine to the patient, okay, the patient may die. So we don't know, like the patient died because of your medicine or because of his disease, right? So how can you evaluate the safety in the patient? It's not possible. So what we do, we will just give the, drug to the healthy human being. So because here, if you give the drug to the healthy human being, it won't show the efficacy. Efficacy means the effectiveness of the drug. It won't show the effectiveness of the drug. It will show just the safety. If that healthy human being is not facing any problem, if there is no adverse event, then we can say the drug is safe. Okay, then it will be given to the patients for the, checking out the efficacy. Okay, if you give to the patient, then if the patient got cured means we can say that the drug is effective. So the effectiveness will be checked in the second and third phase, and the safety will be checked in the first phase. But anyway, in the third phase again, the safety and efficacy in the patients, like both will be checked. Okay. So anyway, this is just a review. Actually, see, we are learning the stats, right? So when you take some clinical research courses, they are like 6 months courses. In that, you will be understanding everything. But I'm sending you the material. Okay, so it's not possible to discuss, each and every topic in this one. So I'm just giving you an overview, and I will give some material to you that's about the clinical research. If you can go through that material, then you will understand that one. Anyway, I will show that material also to you now. So this is the drug development process. Later, we have a drug approval process. What's the drug approval process? So it's all like how the drug is approved. Okay, so this is the process of conducting the trial. Then this is the approval process. Means first, after getting the permission, okay, to conduct the trial, then how the trial, how they will do the trial. First, they will create a protocol. First, they will create a protocol. So anyway, we'll be discussing the protocol also. Protocol means it contains the design, like how to conduct the clinical trial. It contains the design. We can say it is like a plan of action. Then after creating the protocol, then they will select the investigators or the doctors who conduct the trial. Okay, again they will approve the list of the doctors. Okay, then after getting the permission from the FDA, the doctor list, then they will ask the doctors to conduct the trial. Then they will recruit the patients. Then after recruiting the patient, anyway the data is generated from the patients, like in all the phases. Then we will enter the data and we'll review the data. Finally, the database will be generated. So on the database, we will make the statistical analysis. Then after generating the statistical reports, then those reports will be sent to the FDA for the approval. Then finally it will get registered. So this is an approval process. Okay. Now here I am sending you this file to you, which contains very clearly what's an NDA, okay, what's an IND, steps from test tube to new drug application. See, in the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. First is the preclinical research, synthesis, purification, animal testing, okay, institutional review board. So it's a preclinical. In the clinical first phase, see, first phase is showing very less time. Later, second phase, then third phase, then NDA, new drug application. Then after this, they will review, and finally, we'll be getting the approval. So it contains like what's the preclinical research. You can find the details here. Under FDA requirements, a sponsor must first submit data showing that the drug is reasonably safe for use in initial small-scale clinical studies like this. We just go through this one. Okay, here you can see the uh, like the complete details. So it's all like animal testing, short-term testing. What's an institutional review board? Okay, clinical studies. So this paper, what's the phase 2? What's the phase 3? Who is the sponsor? What's the IND? What's an NDA? See, this is an NDA. What do you mean NDA here? The applicant or the drug sponsor, after conducting the 3 phases, they will apply for the NDA. Okay, if application is fileable, if it's not fileable, then refuse to file letter issued. Then if it is fileable, then it will be reviewed by the CDER. Okay, it's a regulatory authority. So in this also there are different types: medical or biopharmaceutical, pharmacology, statistical, chemistry, or microbiology. So they will review all these. Finally, review is complete and acceptable. Then NDA will give the permission. So these are the different steps. Okay. Uh, Review is complete and acceptable. They will labeling. Okay. Review acceptable. Then sponsor revises like this. Inspection of site acceptable. It's fine. If no, then pending satisfactory results like this. Then sponsor meetings. So this is like some 30 pages of the basic information about the clinical research. Okay. Just you go through this one. And this one, drug approval process we are discussing. Then along with this drug approval process, you should understand the ICH guidelines also. See, this PowerPoint will give you the overview of what you have to learn. Okay. So anyway, I will write here what you have to learn. Drug development process, drug approval process you should know. Then along with this, you should know the ICH guidelines also. ICH means it is a International Conference on Harmonization. We will discuss about this one. Then CDISC you should know. In the CDISC there are different models. We should know these models along with the FDA guidelines. Okay. Later, we should know about the site management, data management, information technology, project management, quality assurance, and medical writing also. Okay, means in the clinical industry there are different areas. Site management. Who will do the site management? There is a separate team. They will do the site management. Means to conduct the clinical trial, they have to select some sites, right? Then they go to the doctors. They talk to the sponsors. Okay, so they will initiate the clinical trial. Okay? This is the site management. Data management, those who manages the data, like creating the case report forms, annotation of the case report forms, finally collecting the data from the case report forms into the databases. So this is the role of the data management team, clinical data management team. Okay. Then third one is the information technology. What do you know information technology? The IT people who will validate the the programs, who will validate the systems. So there is one 21 CFR part 11 is there. So the 21 CFR part 11 is about the information technology, means what systems you are using, how the system should be. Okay. So these all comes under IT. IT people means it's the information technology. Then project management, who manages the project. Then quality assurance, medical writing. So this all comes under the, I mean, there are different teams. Not only these, we have a biostatistics team also. It's not mentioned here. Biostatistics team means they will prepare the statistical analysis plan. According to the statistical analysis plan, then SAS program will be generating the reports. So that's called the biostatistics team. Okay. So that is a separate team. Then even in the site management also, again we have a lot of people like investigator, clinical research coordinator, pharmacist. Okay, those who enters the data. So these are all the different types of the people who works in the site also. Okay. Then environment and the guiding principles. You should know the study. See, for example, if somebody asks you about the study, okay, I mean, if you show it in your resume like I had some 5 years or 6 years of experience in doing this clinical SAS programming, then they will ask you, let me explain. I mean, they will ask you to explain the study. Then you should know the study from the scratch. Means you should know the protocol first. You should know the study design, how the study will be conducted, how the patients will be recruited, what's an institutional review board, then what's the role of the investigator, then what are the papers carried by the investigator, how the data is originated, then how the data is collected, archived, logged, cleaned, validated, then how it will be given to the SAS programmer. So you should know the complete flow. Okay, flow of the data and flow of the work also you should understand. Then second one is a program a task once and reuse your code anyway everywhere. Means once you write a program, okay, so that program like I mean you should write the program in such a way that you can use it again and again. See, we created one table using a big program like 20 pages of the program, let us assume. So you should not dispose the 20, I mean the 20 pages of code after getting this table. Okay, you try to use the same program to create other tables also. Means you should write a code so that it can be used, I mean, multiple times, so that we can save a lot of programming time. Okay. Then clinical trial data dirty. So anyway, the clinical trial data dirty, you need to clean them. You should know the how to clean them. You know, use SAS macros judiciously. It's very important one. So without macro, we cannot perform anything in the clinical. Okay. So now what I'm going to explain you is all macros only. All the codes are built on macros only. Okay. So that's the reason before starting, I mean, before I complete the clinical part. So today you just listen to the recordings, okay, the macros. Okay, and if you have any doubt, then we'll be discussing. Without the knowledge of the macros, even we cannot create the cdisk adam, we cannot create the define xml, we cannot create the tlfs. Okay, everything is in the macros one. Okay, then yeah, these are like the tasks which we'll do every day: cleaning the data, categorizing, hard coding. So we have some 20 type of this programming, 20 types of programmings are there, so I will explain them later. These are all the clinical trial data classifications. So these things we will discuss in the CDISC SDTM. What is the demographic, what's the concomitant, what's the medical history, what's the lab data, adverse event, study termination, it's called the disposition. So these things we'll be discussing in the CDISC SDTM. Then this is how the case report form looks like. These are case report forms. Okay. Then how to import, you know how to import the data, but usually the data managers, they use the importing techniques. So but if you know, that will be fine. Okay, how to import into the SAS, this already we discussed in the basis. Okay, then this transforming we'll be explaining later. We will be creating the tables, listings, okay, and some graphs also. Okay, then we know the export also, how to export it. So it is a SAS programmer role. Then coming to the data management. So what is the data management? See, the data management role is different. Okay, we never involved in the data management. Maybe we involve, but our role is not completely into the data management. Okay, there is a separate team called the data managers. Okay, they will do the data management, clinical data management. So for clinical data management, we have so many tools in the market like Medidata, Rave, okay, Cytel, Clinova. So we have so many tools in the market, and Open Clinic also there, Clinitrial also there, SAP Maker also. Okay, so those are data management. So what is the data management? To manage clinical data management, right? So it's not the programming. So we are not using any programming here. Just to manage the data means how to create the case report forms. Okay, how to create a data management plan, then how to organize the data, how to split the data into different domains. Okay, then how to load the data into the databases. So how, you know, they derive the new variables. So all this comes under data management only. Let us see what is the role of the data management team here. Okay, so what is clinical data management? See here, you will understand. Clinical data management is involved in all aspects of processing the clinical data, working with a range of computer applications, database systems to support collection, cleaning, and management of the trial or subject. Subject is something like patient. Okay, so this is the one. Means they will be completely involved in the data management only. Okay, I mean they use the different softwares, right? So computer application they should know, database systems, okay, and they collect, they clean, and they will manage the clinical data. So this is the role of the data management team. Okay, now uh, see here, clinical data management is the collection, integration, and validation of the clinical data. During the clinical trial, the investigators collect the data on the patient's health for a defined time period. The data is sent to the clinical sponsor, then who then analyze the pool data using statistical analysis. This is the same thing. I mean, I'm like keep on shouting the same thing, right? The data managers, they create the case report forms, and the case report forms will be filled by the doctors. Then from those case report forms, the data will be collected again by the data managers. Then the data manager, they will clean it, they will like log it, and the databases will be given to the sponsor. Then the sponsor will go those databases to the SAS programmer to create the tables. Okay, that's it. See, data design, then data collection, data entry, data validation, data cleanup, then analysis, reporting, presenting. So up to the data cleanup, the role of the data manager. Then data analysis is the role of SAS programmer, reporting also the role of SAS programmer, and the data presentation also role of the SAS programmer. Means here the SAS programmer works. I mean the SAS programmer work starts after the work of the data manager, right? It's not like contemporary. Okay. Then why CDM? Review and approval of new drugs by regulatory agencies is dependent upon a trust that clinical trial data presented are of sufficient integrity to ensure confidence in results and conclusion presented by pharma company. Okay, means nothing here. The data should be accurate, and the data should be maintained according to the standards and practices of the FDA. Okay, see, because it's a clinical data. So if the data is wrong or if the data is erroneous, the results will be wrong. So the data should be correct. Okay. Then yeah, then the key members involved in the data management team. Just now we spoke, right? There are different departments: IT department, data management department, biostatistics department, site management department. Like this, there are different departments. So within the data management department, so again these are the different people. Okay, clinical data manager, database administrator, database programmer, clinical data coordinator, CRC, clinical data associate. Like this, there are different roles, and again in the data management. What's the data manager? Maybe he is the head. Database administrator means he like manages the data, like he'll administer data, he will install the software. Okay, he will help the other people to enter the data. The database program is who enters the data. Then clinical research coordinator or clinical data coordinator means these coordinators will coordinate the doctor and the patient. Okay, on behalf of the doctor they will collect the data from the patients. Okay, clinical data associate. Okay, usually we call it as a clinical research associate also. So they stand like as an intermediate to the doctors and to the sponsors. Clinical data coordinator is an intermediate to the doctor and the patient. Clinical data associate is like is an intermediate to the doctor and the sponsor. Okay, so these are the different designations. Even you can find the jobs like this: clinical research coordinator, clinical research associate. Okay, data manager. Like this, there are different positions. Okay. Now, the same thing, clinical trials in a nutshell, approved protocol, okay, the same content just now I shown you. Later, clinical trials overview. This is the same thing already we discussed. There are different areas: planning, design development, data management, analysis, filing. So, how many parts here? 5 parts. What is the planning? The sponsor will create a protocol, they will get it approved and sign off. So this is the planning. Design developments, how to conduct the trial, right? First the protocol got developed and it got approved. Then after that, based on the protocol, there is a data management team. So the data management, they will do the design and development, means database setup they will do. They will create all the case report forms, they will design the case report form, they will do the edit check, validation of the case report forms. If everything is fine, then they will conduct the trial. So while conducting the trial, the data management only they will play an important role. Like see, for example, a patient visits to the site. Okay, then the data will be collected, like in the form of case report forms. Okay, or through the laboratory investigation, we will be getting the data, and based on some queries, we will be getting the data. Okay, the paper queries are there, electronic queries are there, and finally that will be sent to the FDA. Okay, all the either case, if it is a paper case report form, then they will send the paper case report form, or else the entire data from the site will be collected into the form of the ECRF, means electronic case report forms. Then finally, anyway, whatever it may be, if it is by the papers or if it is electronic or if it is the electronic data capture, whatever it may be, finally we will be creating one database. The database contains complete patient history. Okay, complete the data like evolved from the laboratories or from the vital signs or from the case report form or from queries or observations, whatever it may be, it will generate the database. Then from those databases, we will be making some queries, and finally, the reports will be generated. Okay. So report means the data related reports and data sets are available. Then the data sets are logged, validated, and they are logged. Those logged database will be given for the analysis to the SAS program. Okay. Then in the analysis part, we'll get the data, we'll do the SAS programming. Finally, those content will be given to the medical writers. What the medical writers do, they will create one final study report and they will give it to the regulatory team. The regulatory team will file the submission coordination. There are some standards called the electronic common technical document. So they use the electronic common technical document. They will check the QA and QC, and finally that will be given to the regulatory authority. So these are different phases: planning, design development, data management, analysis, filing. So where is the SAS programmer role? That's the analysis part is the SAS programmer role. But recently, I mean, some like there are some changes. Even we are involving in the data management also. In some companies make you to work on data cleaning, data validation, data locking. Okay, then SDTM implementation. So you will be involved in little bit of the data management work also. I mean that I will explain you what exactly the data management work we have to do. Okay, then these are the different roles in the CRO: investigator, coordinator, pharmacologist, biostatistician, lab coordinator, like this. So here the 12th role is the clinical data management. Okay, so here the SAS programmer role is not mentioned actually. The biostatistics department only the SAS program will come, but there is a biostatistician. Okay. Then yeah, responsible for CDM. The same thing, study setup. They will set up the study. They will conduct the study. Then they will close the study. What they do before the study, after the study, or while going the study. Okay. Then what the data management do. Okay. This just go through this presentation. You'll understand. Again, this is the same one in a different way of explanation. Okay. Protocol designing. Later, startup phase. Okay, what they do in the startup. Later, data entry. Then getting the data in the connecting phase and closeout phase. Okay, so study startup, what they do. Okay, protocol. From the protocol, they will design the case report forms. Okay, then database design, validation. The same thing, the same thing. I mean, what I explained you. So for this data management, they use different softwares, Oracle Clinical and Clinitrial, and see, we have so many tools, Reo, Medidata. So those are all the data management tools only. Yeah, these are the paper case report form. It's an electronic case report form. Okay. Anyway, again we'll be discussing about the paper case report form, electronic case report form also. Then how many types of case report form are there? So these topics also we'll be discussing. And database design. So it will be done by the data managers. Then these are the database management systems what they use. Oracle Clinical, CleanTrail, Meditative, Face Forward, Inform, MS Access. So they will use all these databases. Then what's annotation? We'll be discussing about the case report from annotations also. Yeah, these are the paper case report forms. Then what they do in the validation phase. Okay. So all these things will be discussed. Yeah. What's the medical coding? Okay. What's the database lock? Means once you finish cleaning and validation, then you should lock the data, or else some other people may make the changes in the data. Again, the data will get like prone to the errors. Okay. Yeah. So this is the data management workflow again in brief. See here. Yeah. See, receipt of the case report forms. Okay. After creating the case report form, they will check whether the case report form is correct or not. Again, they will do the second checking. If everything is okay, then the case report forms will come to the data management team. Okay. Then they will do the batch validation, auto coding. There is some thesaurus management. Then coding is there. Okay. Discrepancy management is there. So they will do. I mean, the data will be collected in the form of the case report forms, right? First initial the case report forms also checked, verified. If everything is perfect, then they will enter the data into the case report form. Then later, after entering the data, we will be building a database. So the database means there are so many things in the database. We simply won't convert the data, I mean the case report form data into the databases. So we will do the thesaurus management is there, manual coding is there, discrepancy management is there. So auto coding. After doing all this, if there is any error, so there is a form called the DCF. I mean DCF. It's called the data clarification form. Okay, this data clarification form will be filled by the data management team, and this form will be given to the again the sponsors. Like where the see for example, we have given the age of 220. Okay, while entering the data, we entered as 220. Is it possible to have the age of 220? No, right? So, so what we do, we'll fill a data classification form that the patient name, I mean the patient age has been shown as 220 years, whether it is 20 years or 22 years. Like so, we need the clarification. So that is how you will be filling the data clarification form and will be sent to the I mean this data. I mean to the investigator. Again, the investigator will check the patient details and they will correct it. Okay, so that's called a data classification. Then after result, I mean after resolution of all the data classification things, then they will do the serious adverse event reconciliation also. Okay, then after that, quality control also they will do. Finally, they will do the database lock. Okay, so this is the data management role, but we are not the data managers, right? So I just explained you for the concept. Okay. Yeah. So this is about the data management. Now, see this one, the SAS programmer role we are talking about. First, we will create a protocol. What is the protocol? The protocol, it contains the design of the study, how to conduct the clinical trial, then what is the role of the investigator, means the doctor. Then it also contains the data management plan and statistical analysis plan. So, this content is present in the protocol. So, you should know how to review the protocol. So, anyway, I will be explaining you how to review the protocol also. Okay. Later, as I told you, the SAS programmer role is in two places. One is in the data management department. You are playing an important role, and you will also be playing a role in the biostatistics department. Okay, so these two departments, like where you are get placed. See, for example, some companies may ask you to work in the data management side also, or some companies they may ask you to work in the biostatistics department, or most of the companies they will give both the works, data management as well as the biostatistics work. Okay, if you got placed in the data management department, then what's your role? You know the work of the data managers, right? What they do? It's a like a flow. Case report forms will be designed using softwares called Oracle Clinical, Rave, Medidata, Open Clinical, Clinitrial. There are so many softwares are there. Okay, so inform. Okay, my suggestion is just don't read this like this. So just type the Oracle Clinical in the Google and just try to find out what the Oracle Clinical. Okay, just 5 minutes spend on searching this word. Then Medidata Rev. So Medidata Rev, what is a Medidata Rev? Okay, so Medidata is a company. They are using this Rev software for the data management purpose. Then Open Clinica is an open source where we can use without any fee to conduct the data management plan. Okay, then what is this Inform? Okay, so just try to browse these and just try to understand what is what, because we are not dealing with the data management, right? So if you are planning for data management, again we have a separate course. Okay, separate course for the data management means in that course either you will be learning the Open Clinica or you will be learning the Oracle Clinica. Okay, so in that Oracle Clinical means there's a software. So how to manage the clinical data will be done by this using this Oracle Clinical. So we'll be explaining you how to use the Oracle, then how to create the case report forms. Okay, then how to validate the case report forms, then how to do the discrepancy management, how to do the thesaurus management, then how to manage the adverse event reporting system. Okay, these things will be there in the data management. Got it? So you are not into the data management, so that's the reason I'm not going to explain you all this in detail. Okay, then earlier, like 4 5 years back, I taught like data management for almost like 30 to 40 students. Okay, but currently nobody is asking the data management, because there are very few jobs in the clinical data management, and there's no scope of entering into other areas. Okay, if you learn the data management, then there's no chance of going into some financial industry or other industry, because it's a very less scope. If you learn the SAS can be used in different areas also, right? So that you can go to some other financial non-clinical area also. Okay, so that's the reason. And moreover, it's not like the unique one, because if you learn the Oracle Clinical, then the company may not use the Oracle Clinical, the other company they may use the Rev. Okay, or some other company they may use the Clinitrial. So the softwares are changing, and some companies they use their own system of the data management. So here it's not like what we say, it's not uniform, right? It's not like it's not like predefined things. Okay, so if you go to some company it may change, but it's not the case with the SAS. In the SAS everything is predefined. If you do the like 1 year of experience, if you really possess 1 year experience in company, if you go to other company also, then immediately after joining, the next moment you can start working, because everything is predefined. Okay, they will follow the same guideline, they will use the same macros. Okay, they will use the same standards, and everything is same, so it won't change. So the uniformity will be there in this SAS programming, but not in the data management, because there is no rule like whatever you do. finally you will be submitting the reports in the form of the data SAS programming only, right? So they won't ask like how you created the case report form. You can create the case report forms in any way. Even you can use the Excel or you can use the MS Access also, okay? Or you do manually, so nobody will bother. But after collecting the data, then how the data got organized, okay? That is important, okay? So yeah, so here after case report form creation, then they will do the validation. Okay, after validation, the data will be collected in the form of the databases like Excel, CSV, Access, or Oracle. So, this is the role of the data manager. Then, what is the SAS programmer role here? Means what the SAS programmer do? Conversion of legacy databases into data sets. This may be, given to you. Means the data may be present in the Excel, CSV, Access, or Oracle databases. Then they will ask you to convert those databases into the SAS data sets. Okay. Then how to convert this? This is your role. Then edit check validating the database entries. So sometimes the data managers, they will enter the data from different sources to create the tables. Then you will be supervising them, because if there is any errors, then you are like I think the SAS programmer is superior to the data manager, right? So always the SAS programmer is superior to the data manager. So you will be having more salary and more responsibility than the data manager. So they'll consider you as a superior, so that you will be supervising the data management team also. Then split the data into different domains like AE, CM, PE, VS. Means the data is given to you, then they will ask you to split the data into different domains according to the CDIS standards. In the CDIS, see, the entire data of the patient will not be collected in one database or in one table, right? So in order to make it easy, you will be splitting the data into different domains. Demographic, it all contains the demographic information. Concomitant medication, it contains the medicine given. Adverse event information, physical examination. Like this, we will be having the information in different parts. Okay, we'll be splitting them into different parts. So even that work also we have to do. Then build the lab databases, supervising, assisting the data management team, and converting the data sets into SDTM compliant data set. It's the same thing. Okay, then log the database and archive it. Archive means to store or preserve them. Then we'll be doing the Medra coding also. If you are uh, SAS programmers may have the pharma degree or may not have the pharma degree. It's not mandatory that you should have the pharmacy background to work as a clinical SAS. Anyone, even the BTech or some non-bioscience, okay, or life science person also, he may get a job as a clinical SAS programmer, but he cannot do the coding, Medra coding. The Medra, he's not authorized to the Medra coding. Okay, so if you are from the pharmacy background, then you are authorized to this Medra coding. So anyway, I'll be explaining you how to do the Medra coding. So it is just coding the the diseases, signs, symptoms. Okay, so this I will be explaining. Then even we have one WHO drug also, it's a dictionary. So that is for coding the drugs, but the SAS programmer will never participate in doing this drug coding. Usually the data managers, they will do it. Okay. Then means here it is our role. What's the role? The databases will given to you. Okay. Just convert them into the data sets and split them into different domains and check them, do the coding. Then this is the biostatistics department. What the biostatistics department do? After converting the data into SDTM, then those SDTM datasets again you will be converting into the ADAM datasets. So to show how you converted the ADAM datasets and SDTM datasets, you will be submitting one file to them. That file is called a define.xml. Then how the define.xml got created means we will be creating one metadata. Okay, so based on the metadata, you will be creating the define.xml. So anyway, I will show you everything practically. Okay, whatever I am showing, I will show practically. Then converting this SDTM and ADAM data sets. Okay, after the conversion, then you will be validating, means you will be checking them whether they are compliance to the SDTM standards and not. Okay, using a software called the CDISC validator. Open CDISC validator is a software. So anyway, I will be using that software also to show whether it is compliant or not, or else you can use the base SAS programming also to validate this one. Okay. Later, you will be asked to review the protocols, SAP, and clinical study reports also. Okay. So sometimes, when you get a job as a fresher, so to understand the environment, they will ask you to review the protocols. Okay. Or anyway, you need to review the protocol, SAP, and the study reports every day. Okay, then SAS programming for the analysis part. So we'll be doing some SAS programming for the analysis, like LOCF, BOCF, change from baseline, study data. So all these analysis part we'll be doing by writing the program, and finally you'll be creating the tables, listings, and the figures according to the SAP. Then involved in the creation of the ISS and ISC. Okay. Then finally you will be submitting the reports to the FDA in the form of the ECTD. There are some guidelines called the electronic common technical document. So using these guidelines, you will be sending the below content to the FDA. So what are the content here? Protocol you will be sending, and final study report. Okay, then SAS datasets, SDTM, ADAM, define XML, SAS code, and patient profiles. So these content you will be sending to the FDA after completion of the drug. But anyway, we are not the regulatory authority. So the regulatory authority, they will send all these files. Okay. Now, coming to the important websites. So these are the important websites you need to go them before starting the clinical program. So what is the first website? It's a ics.org. Just few minutes I will browse them. So this is on ics.org. What is this? It's an international conference on harmonization of technical requirements for registration of pharmaceuticals for human use. Okay, means I mean any pharma company, those who are preparing the human medicines, so they have to follow the all the technical requirements present in this ICH to get the permission. Okay, so in this ICH there are 4 guidelines: QSCM, quality, safety, efficacy, and multidisciplinary. Coming to the quality, so there are different quality guidelines, but the SAS programmer, you need not to worry about the quality, because the companies who prepare the medicine, they follow the good manufacturing practices. Okay, they follow all these quality guidelines. Coming to the safety, also no need to worry, because the drug manufacturing companies only, they will take care of the safety of the drug, whether it is genotoxic or carcinogenic, or it is having some reproductive toxicology. So these are some safety guidelines. Then coming to the efficacy, then in the efficacy also, how the efficacy is proven? By conducting the clinical trial, the efficacy will be proven, right? So here there are some guidelines called the E3, means the SAS programmer will involve in the creation of the reports. So the E3 is about the report, how the structure and content of the clinical study report to be. Okay, so you need to just download this one. Just click here, you'll find the paper here. Just download this the PDF. Okay, later, GCP, good clinical practice also there. Every person should know the GCP. Okay, whoever he may be, if he's working with the clinical means, they should know the GCP guidelines. Okay, and later we have the E8 also. E8 means it is general considerations of the clinical trial, or general considerations for clinical trial. You should know the E3, E6, and E8. Okay, and also we have one more called the multidisciplinary. In the multidisciplinary, read about this CTD, electronic common technical document, and common technical document. Means finally when sending the reports to the FDA, what are the technical documents you will be sending? So that will be there in the electronic technical document. Okay, so you just go through these things, and also read about what the ICH means, what are the countries involved in the ICH. Just to type ICH in the Google, you can find so many PowerPoint presentations about the ICH guidelines. Okay, just go through them. Okay, you need to go through this site before starting. Now, here E3, E6, E8, FAQs, M4 and M8. M4 is a common technical document. M8 is the electronic common technical document. Then coming to the medra.org. So this is one more site you need to go. Medra means it's a medical dictionary for the regulatory activities. Medra, medical dictionary for regulatory activities. So it is like doing the signs, symptoms, and disease into some numeric. See, for example, fever. So different people, they use different terminology. So instead of that, you'll be giving a number. So that number indicates the fever. So it's a Medra dictionary. There is some hierarchy in the Medra. Anyway, we'll be discussing about the hierarchy and the related Medra dictionary. Even how to code, I will explain you practically. Now, we have one more site called the clinicaltrial.gov. It is the registry. Registry means those who conduct the clinical trial, they should register their clinical trial in this clinicaltrials.gov site. So it contains, the complete clinical study information. You can see here, non-US 51% of, the patients are recruiting in this study. In US only 43%. In both US, non-US and 66%. So how many studies are going till now? 33,699 studies as on 21st August. Just 4 days back, they updated it. So how many studies are going on? For example, if you write heart attack, okay, then how many studies are being going on this heart attack? How many are completed? How many are enrolling the patients? Okay, how many are active and not recruiting? How many completed? How many terminated? Okay, so the complete information about such heart attack, or you can select the location wise, or you can select the drug wise. Okay, so this is a registry. Got it? If you want to find out about a study, then you can simply use this site. Now, coming to the CDISC. What do you mean by CDISC? It's all about the Clinical Data Interchange Standards Consortium. Okay, so in this CDISC, we have different models. Just go through this one. What's about? Okay, what is the CDISC? So anyway, while discussing the CDISC, again I will explain you. But if you can go through this site, then that will be good. CDISC means it's a Clinical Data Interchange Standard Consortium. So to interchange the data between different organizations, between FDA and the sponsors, okay. So it is just to maintain the uniformity in the data from protocol creation to sending the reports to the FDA. So in each and every level, you will be following some standards, right? So those standards are mentioned in this series. Okay. Now, coming to the WMA. What's in WMA? It's a World Medical Association. So just go through this World Medical Association website also. So what do you mean by this World Medical Association? Why? Because the World Medical Association only in 1964, in 1964, so they formulated, or we can say they derived some rules. Okay, how to conduct the clinical trials on the human beings. There are some ethical guidelines are there, ethical principles are there. Okay, so actually there was an event happened in 1964. The Second World War. In the Second World War, the Germans, they captured the soldiers, war criminals. Okay, the soldiers as a war criminals, and they conducted the clinical trials brutally on them. Okay, considering the human beings as a animals, laboratory animals. Okay, so the World Medical Association, they took it very seriously, and they framed the rules like how to conduct the clinical trial. It's non-ethical to conduct on the human beings, so there are some ethical principles. Okay, so after this only the ICH got evolved. Okay, so we should just go through what are the principles they originated, and this is also called as the Declaration of Helsinki. Why we call it the Declaration of Helsinki? Because this meeting happened in the place of the Helsinki in Finland in 1964. They declared some guidelines, so that is the reason we call it as a Declaration of Helsinki only. So you should know the Declaration of Helsinki term also before SAS programming. Then you see the Nuremberg. What's the Nuremberg Code? Just now I told you, right? So during the Second World War, the clinical trials, have been conducted on the patients, right? The war criminals. It's not on patients. So that incident is called the Nuremberg Code. Okay. So just go through this principle. See, for the set of guidelines for determining what constitutes a war crime, see Nuremberg principles. See, the judges delivered their verdict in the doctor's trial against some call band. So you just go through this one, you will understand. There are 10 points in the Nuremberg Code. Okay. So the voluntary consent of the human subject is absolutely essential. This means that the person involved should have legal capacity to give consent, should be so situated as to be able to exercise free power of choice. It's all like how to conduct the clinical trials. So there is a Nuremberg Code is there. Just go through this one. But as a SAS programmer, no need to worry about that one. If you know one or two, points in the Nuremberg, that is enough. Okay, because you are not learning the complete clinical research. If you are learning the clinical research, then you should know all this, right? Then coming to one more site called the SAP Maker, Statistical Analysis Plan Maker. So this will help the SAS programmer, not only SAS programmer, or the data managers also. It contains everything. Just see this one, SAP. Every day we will be using the SAP only as a SAS programmer. Means the statistical analysis plan will be there here in this one. Okay. So what the SAP contains? Okay, it's opening because this site will open mostly in the night time. See, it's not working because it's a US based one. So in the Indian night, it will open. Okay, you try in the Indian night, it won't open in the morning. I think they will do some sort of updations. Okay, so just go through this app maker. You will understand what's the content in the protocol, what's the content in the study report, what's the content of the statistical analysis plan. Okay, how the mock tables looks like. So this content will be there in the SAP maker. Okay, just try it in the night time. Means after 4 or 5 hours, you just check this website. You will find the content. Okay, fine. So these are the some important websites you need to go. Later in this, I am going to explain you these theory concepts. What is the data management role? What's the drug development process? What's the protocol? I will review the protocol also. Then I will explain the GCP guidelines and 21 CFR Part 11, and also I will explain the CDISC, SDTM, and ADAM. So these all I will explain the theoretically. And coming to the programming, cleaning validation, importing and exporting, transport file creation, in the CDISC, SDTM, ADAM, define XML, metadata, and implementation of all these, creating analysis data sets, and creating the tables, lists, and figures. Okay, so these contents I'm going to explain. Then books, after this class, means right away I will send you the complete material related to this. The clinical programming. We have a lot of books. Okay, some SAS recommended books are there. Okay, and even I prescribe some books to you. Okay, so I will be sending you these books, this document, and also today's recording.